There we go. Like it's thinking about it. It's gonna go live when it feels like it. Hi everyone. I can't believe it's Thursday, December 9th. First of all, how disrespectful is that? This is less than 2 weeks. Quick show of hands. Anybody, for those who celebrate, are you doing it? Have you done your Christmas? Have you even started your Christmas shopping?
I have.
How much, Jen?
And it's already finished thanks to the House of Lenormand. So I'm done. Congratulations to me.
My tree's up for 2 years.
Half of mine is done thanks to redlentilhealing.com.
Yeah, you texted me you were channeling your inner Jenn Lynn and putting up your Charlie Brown Christmas tree. I wondered if you got it done.
I did. He's
Is there such a okay? That's a Christmas tree. I'm like,
nice.
the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Is there such a thing as putting those up? Isn't it just like a couple of sticks put together?
Yes, but it's kind of more of the essence of the tree. Like he's very Charlie Brownish. You can see right through him.
This is our Christmas tree this year.
I love it.
Like I'm not in the mood. I'm just not in the mood.
I
don't want to be digging up ornaments and then putting them down. No, just not doing it.
I don't really have the space for a tree, but I do have a lighty pillow.
Oh, pretty.
It's literally lit on the inside.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's nice.
So, and somebody in the chat who saw it during my live stream actually called it the lighty pillow.
The lighty
so
pillow.
that has now become the lighty pillow.
That works. I need a lighty pillow. There's
you need cats that climb your tree, Adrian, and fill in the holes.
And take the tree down because it weighs all of 19 ounces. That's what you get when you buy a black Christmas tree on Black Friday.
That's my Christmas tree right there. Thank you, Sylvia.
Oh,
it's got a little train that goes around in it too.
God bless Sylvia.
Yeah, she's amazing. Always looking out for you guys. Awesome. So let me start by thanking Tarot's Apprentice, Jenn Lynn Tarot, Autumn from Black and Orange, Becca from the House of Lenormand. I love saying that, sorry. And Lori from the Way of Positive Change. My fun tarot family. Thank you guys so much. And Jenn Lynn, thank you for saying, yes, I should do this. When I said, I have this stupid idea. Do you think anybody would watch? And you're like, yeah. I was like, well, you have way more confidence in me than I do. Thank you for joining. Before we get started, go through the line and let's talk about all the projects and ideas and things you guys got coming up. Johnny, let's start with you.
A very strong nap. Jen, your turn.
Sunday Night Live on my channel with Lena Rodriguez, special guest. And Monday, December 20th, Sacred Sounds of Coffee with our friend Jody Roberts.
Awesome. So this Sunday on your channel?
This Sunday on my channel. And then New Year's Eve, we're going to do a big fundraiser again for Feeding America, right, Johnny?
Sure.
Well, what sub-charity on New Year's Eve? We did a huge one last year on New Year's Eve, raised $8,900.
Last year was fun. So looking forward to see what you do this year. Awesome. So Sunday, her channel with Lena. Monday, Jody, Sacred Sounds with Coffee. And then New Year's Eve live stream. Autumn, what's coming up for you?
Well, there's always the daily political tarot at noon Central Time, 365 days of the year. I've been on every day since the day after Christmas 2019, except for a few days when I had been like that first April when I had an emergency. Other than that, I've been on every single day since then. But I've also written a mystery novel, and part one came out this week, and the rest of it is going to drop on not on Christmas Eve.
Awesome.
Ooh, cliffhanger.
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't cost anymore. It's just the one book, and then you just refresh the file. So
awesome. Much success.
Thank you.
Becca, what's coming up for you, ma'am?
Nothing.
You guys. There's got to be something. Come on.
She just went to Barnes and Noble, so she's got all these horror books. She's going to be holed up in her house reading.
All of the books to the side of you. Because I'm trying to, the first one says lock everything.
Oh, lock every door.
Lock every door.
I have all the books here. There's a bunch.
Oh, you just bought all those?
No.
I was going to say that's
I did
cool.
not go to the store and just buy a whole cart full of books. No, it's
That's
just
neat to do.
I assumed it was a box.
I mean, that may not be completely true, but okay.
problem. So now that I think about it, I think I did find a book because I know that people wanted to start a book club, but I've never done a book club. I just read whatever I want. So I think I just found one. So I might go live maybe later tonight when I'm making dinner and announce it to see if anybody wants to, because I don't want anybody to go out and have to purchase something. Just get it from your library, so maybe I'll go live tonight because it's raining and I should make some chicken and dumplings.
Ooh, yum.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what book you're thinking about? Or do you want to wait?
Colleen Hoover's Verity. I think I'm going to give that one a go.
Okay, I'm going to find it.
It's backlisted, so I know on Kindle you can get it for like $2 right now, and you don't need a Kindle. You can use your phone or an iPad or your computer, and it's like I think like $7 or $8 for the paperback, I think. But I would check the library, so no expenses.
Overdrive Media and Libby are two great apps that help you download your local library books virtually, and you can just browse the entire catalog through them.
Wow.
You're muted, Becca.
You muted.
I'm reading a book right now from the library that I got on my Kindle. So yeah, it uses the Libby and then it goes through Amazon and downloads it to my Kindle. But it's very easy. But I just don't want people to be spending money that, they shouldn't have to. So
Save it for the holidays.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was that name again? Colleen
Hoover. And the name of the book is Verity.
Y'all got she's giving it to you live right now. Your reading list. You got no excuses talking about, I'm bored. There's nothing to do. Becca,
I want to hear about Pearl, the psychic pig. I want to hear about that book when she reads it.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Go ahead, Becca.
No, that's all I have. Nothing else.
Lori.
Well, I was going to announce the title of Autumn's book that she's written in time. And can you tell people how to purchase it, Autumn? And Lucky Girl did just post a link so you can purchase this fantastic mystery, fun times. There's a little romance too, right, Autumn?
Not so much. It's a series, so over the series, there's definitely going to be some, but it's a time loop mystery.
It's developing story.
Oh, very much so. Very much so. It's like once you know the characters, you're good. You're good for the whole series.
I just got mine I downloaded on the Kindle because I had pre-ordered. So
thank you.
It's
very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow I'll be live at 12 noon Eastern with Danny Shea and Celtic Sheila on her channel. And then I'll be, if everything goes smoothly tomorrow, I will be on my channel at 4 p.m. Eastern. And then Johnny and I are doing a crystal chat, right? On your channel, Johnny, and that is happening on New Year's before you go live for the fundraiser. Is that correct?
Yes, we can talk about that though, because I was thinking, should we do it the week before instead of the week of, or the day of New Year's stream? But yes, that's the plan though, what you just said.
Just text me the date. I don't know if it would be a Sunday.
I don't know. We'll talk.
Okay.
I've been
All
giving
right.
it that kind of thought, but
That's
yeah.
all I have.
Someone in the chat had a very good question. Any upcoming grand tableau drops from Becca?
Yes.
I don't know. I've been kind of under the weather, so I've
Oh.
just been like dying.
Take some rest.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And the book Verity by Colleen Hoover on the Kindle is $7.99. Just so you know.
Oh, they just had it the other day for $2. Kindle does the
Yeah.
book deals every day.
Mhm.
They just had it for $2.
Well, it's eight. It's 8 now. And but
Okay.
if that's what we're doing, I'm in. Whatever book you want, I'm in.
We'll be there. Damn that Zuckerberg, not Zuckerberg, that other one, Bezos, whatever. Y'all know who he is. He know who he is.
We know what
Raising
child
the
you're talking about.
And lastly, guys, check me out Sunday at I want to say 1 Eastern, 12 Central. I'm going to have Veronica Valles on my channel. I have no idea what we're talking about yet, but most likely some type of healing poetry. I may play a bowl, a gong. She may tell me to shut up and just support her. I don't care. It'll be fun. But that is Sunday at 1 Eastern, Sunday to 12. Okay. All right. First and foremost, I'm going to spray us before we get started because we're about to be real and slightly petty, maybe, or not petty, just, however this comes out. So I've got a list of people. Look how long the list is. I know we're probably not going to get through all of them, but we're going to just look at what makes them, what makes them, what makes them tick, who are they? Johnny and I were going to pull some oracle too to kind of get a little deeper into the shadow self and the family. Yes, ma'am. You already
To
got
spell out the balanced and the unbalanced.
So I'm going to kick us off. Let's start looking at what I want to deem the Mean Girls Club. Let's look at Lauren Boebert.
The unbalanced.
The unbalanced.
And what are we just asking what kind of person they are, or
what drives them, what kind of person they are? And you can even dig however you personally want to pull. I don't put babies in a box. I don't tell readers what to read. I just make the suggestions.
What makes her the way she is? What makes her tick?
Makes her tick. Why is she crazier than a rat in a tin shit house? What's going on? Thank you guys so much for joining, all 157 of you. Thank you again to Johnny and Jenn, Lynn and Autumn and the amazing Becca and the amazing, fantastic Lori for joining me tonight. Look at Mean Girl Lauren Boebert.
oh boy.
So, Johnny, if you got some oracle, let's kick it off with you. And we'll just go down.
Motivation. I got hunger and blossom. There tends to be a I want mentality. She is not satisfied, but she's probably never been satisfied where she was. She wants this. If you go deep into the core of such a thing, it's not just a lack that drives hunger. Sometimes it's a too. Mm-hmm. Because I asked what is her challenge, and I get Thurisas with the runes. This is defense and conflict. This is destruction. This is the rune for Thor. So this is like, thunder and lightning and chaos and commotion. She cannot get the things that she needs, not wants, needs, because she's too busy chasing wants. She's too busy chasing somebody else's dream too. And so that's what I get for her.
I got something very, very similar. Go ahead, Jenn Lynn.
It's all about image. She wants that image out there, whatever she wants, naivete and surprise and saying surprising things. I get that she had something that caused a lot of anxiety when she was in school, when she was younger. That was really interesting. And may have involved like an older man as a like lover. So something kind of sexual went on when she was in school. Left her feeling kind of lost, dark night of the soul. And she's all about, I want to be the star. I want all the love and admiration. I want everything I want up here. And she's just naive and stupid. I pulled one oracle card and I get intention. Like, it's intentional. She's got free will. She's got choices. She's got baggage, but it's intentional.
Butthole on purpose. What you got, Autumn?
Well, I pulled some cards, but I thought I would just pull up her astrology chart just to have a quick look. And because what I got in the chart was her own weaknesses, her feeling strength by overcoming others, her own insecurities, and she wants to be important. She wants to be the judge. Massive insecurities. So I had to look at her chart, and holy heck, I didn't realize this, but basically she's a mess. She's got a lot of things in the same place, and they're opposite and square each other. So your Chiron is the part of you, the wound that will not heal, and it's something you will always have to struggle with. Her moon is right near it. That's her emotional nature. So you've got that, and it's opposite her sun, which is her sense of self, with Uranus, the maverick, the rebel, are right in the same place. So she enjoys being the rebel. And her emotionally, she has this wound that will not heal. That's very powerful. And that's actually in a bad angle to a conjunction of Mars, god of war, is in the same place as Jupiter, which expands things and makes, her a big personality. So you've got that force expanded. I'm going to be in your face. And that's grinding up against this rebel self and this wounded emotional person. And then she's even off to the side. She's got Venus, which is what and how you love, in the same place as all the intensity of Pluto. So she and it's in Scorpio. So she loves the intensity. She needs the intensity. Her chart's just like, gee, I don't know if I want to know you, lady. Like, you better use that power for good, not or evil, because she's using it for evil. And calm down, decaf.
Oh God, I don't think she's capable of using it for good. What you got, Becca?
I get that she's just trying to. I asked what makes her tick, and it just looks like, if I'm interpreting this correctly, that it's just being in line with her supporters, people that support her base, that part of the party. So just pleasing them so that she can be successful. So
she kind of gets off on that validation. Yeah. What you got, Becca? Oh God, you said that. Thank you, Becca. What do you have, Lori?
I got a few of the same cards that Jenn Lynn got, which we tend to do. She has had very many sad, lonely moments in her life. She was left alone. She's had heartbreak, upset. I'm not trying to make excuses for her, but so now she's just really grifting. She's really going after the money. And she has a fear that she's never going to get enough. Whatever she does, it's never going to, there's a hole, it's a hole and it can't be filled. And so no matter how much money she tries to put in there, she's still empty. And so until she finds a higher power or gets some healing, this is just going to continue.
Yeah. So true, because her shadow self is inner harmony. So when she is backed up against the wall, she is a disruptor. She does not know how to bring peace. This is what thrives her. This is what she thrives off of. And this is how she shows up as somebody, just complete lack of inner harmony what Autumn, Johnny, all of you said really is whatever, especially when Jen Lynn was saying something about the heartbreak. Same thing with you, Lori. This is what fuels it. What fuels her going is I've been heartbroken, so I don't know how to be of peace. I just know malfeasance and stress. She also just does not know how to listen to herself, her intuition, her gut, and go from that. She is very reactive. What you tell her to do, she will do, but she will not listen to self, because again, that takes mastery. She can't do it because her archetype is the priest. When the priest is in, they're the most disruptive in their shadow self. They hear the sound of their own voice, and the sound of their own ego is what drives the congregation. So i.e., she's actually not in tune with the higher power, her self-purpose. Why am I here? I'm here to be Congresswoman Lauren Boebert. She's like, I'm here to preach to the masses to get the attention. And that's how she shows up in this day.
That third eye and solar plexus always pops up like that for you.
Always come together. Because if you're ignoring one, you're ignoring the other. They work together. Yuck.
Which makes sense because she has no instincts and no divine connection. I mean, she has a divine connection, but it's ignored.
It's self-driven.
It's polluted. I'll say it that way. It's polluted because it's her own ego is in the way.
Yeah.
Well, according to her chart, for what it's worth, I don't think she's going to be willing to learn. And I hate to say that because, of course, we can all learn. But I in her chart, she loves the drama. She loves the pain, the action, the intensity, all of that. And until she's, she can't heal. She can't stop long enough to heal until she is willing to calm down for a minute.
I mean, these are Jill's finger babies.
It's like a repeat abuser that goes out and abuses other people because they were abused, as opposed to going the opposite direction.
Yeah.
When I look at her, I see like a 10-year-old, and I see somebody who just never got out of prepubescence, which is just very sad, but just very interesting at the same time. So just bless your heart, little tink tink. Okay. Let's keep with the Mean Girls Club and look at her BFF in meanness, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, God.
Mercy.
Every time I read on her, my stomach hurts, my anus suffers, something bad happens.
Lynn Wood is now saying she's a Satan worshiper, so that's their thing. Like,
they turned on her now, have they?
Like Lynn Wood's one to tell.
Right.
They got a little feud going on, so now he's saying like Flynn, she's a devil worshiper.
Good mercy.
This Mother Mary.
For entertainment purposes only, YouTube.
They don't come for our throats, YouTube. Just jokes. These is just jokes.
You got a lot of videos out there with him talking, so you don't block them, don't block us.
Right. Let's look at MTG. Her face just looks. She is, and that's what it does for you.
She is driven by things, all that glitters, and co-create. Where can she get it? How much can she get? This is not always possessions and money. This can be attention. This can be reactions is what she really likes because she has been emboldened, which means she needs the attention. Mind you, the challenge at the core of this, embrace your inner child. She's a broken person on the inside, therefore her actions are also reflective of such a thing. I mean, this one, we can see that. I think, blind dog can see this. So she's driven by things. She's driven by anger. She's driven by fear because her inner child is also polluted and corrupted. From whatever happened in her past, it has scarred her future. It has scarred her present. It has scarred her adulthood. So, yeah, that's what I get. That's who she is. That's who she'll stay to until you recognize that this behavior that you are displaying is toxic, not just to people on the outside, but to you as well. And so she'll be like the rest of them, and she'll stay, Satan's foster child until she figures herself out.
And truth be told, if she exhibits some narcissistic personality types. And so therefore, if she is, I'm not saying she is, she's not going to change until it completely messes her up. There's nothing else that will make her.
I kind of think that even if she were, if she were to hit rock bottom, she would never learn from that either.
I don't think she'd even recognize she'd at rock bottom.
Yep. That's probably true too.
It takes insight and reflection. What you got, Jen?
Interesting you say reflection, because she thinks she's beautiful. She thinks she's like all that, so completely disconnected from walking away from her intuition, her knowledge, her everything, her third eye. There we go, right, Adrian? Very influenced by a moneyed man in her family. Very smug. She's got a lot of friends that have moved away from her because of her mouth. And there was a lot of fighting in the home when she was growing up. So she's in a power struggle all the time, constantly looking for power. And it's interesting because the oracle I pulled is called Cleaning House, which means she needs to clean her own house. All this crap that went on in her childhood, she needs to clean house. Take care of her own garbage.
I mean, she's like one of them. I don't know, because even they're kind of cute. I can't move past she thinks she's beautiful. And I'm trying, even people who have real ugly dogs, they think that dog is real cute.
Oh, we're going to hell.
I'm going to hell. And it's going to back up if I don't say it out loud. So I'm going to say it out loud since I'm already going to hell. Yeah, that's who she is. Yeah.
It's like mirror, mirror on the wall, but you're actually looking at a picture of somebody else instead of her.
She doesn't see herself for who she is.
Because, I despise the word ugly because I think that's mean, because there are no ugly people, physically speaking. But her insides corrupts her outside, like I said in the reading. Therefore, no, you're not a beautiful person at all.
If she had a picture of Dorian Gray, it would be hideous.
She is the picture walking out of the room. That's what she is.
Like she's got the picture in the mirror of Shakira, but she's cutting it, but she thinks she looks back and it's Shakira.
Like a celebrity, like I'm so beautiful, like a model or something. It's like, no, you're not.
Not so much. What you got, Autumn?
Actually, I have the astrology stuff, so why don't I go last?
Okay.
If that's okay.
What you got, Becca?
I get that she has some serious anger issues here with the very critical and abusive. That it's not just, this isn't something that just came up. This is the way she's been for a very long time, and it brings about a serious illness. Also, perhaps issues with some sort of an addiction as well. So that could be addiction to substances. It can be addictions to chasing that high of just being a bully. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I get that the arguing and abuse and fighting with her comes to an end eventually. She's going to see herself as someone that is quite popular, but for the wrong reasons. So I know that she's trying to perhaps paint herself right now as she's openly going toe to toe or dog walking McCarthy. Not that that's hard, threatening McCarthy and everything, that he doesn't have the votes and this and that. So it's like she's almost positioning herself to be prominent in the party. But this is almost reading like those days are numbered. If you addiction issues, anger issues, but the fighting and problems with her come to an end. And then there's her in a committee or her in the party. So that's what I get.
May it be true. Lori, Can you co-sign on this?
I can indeed. She grew up, entitlement is a key word for her. She grew up in a lavish area and got a lot of goodies, but she did not get the love, and she does not have the friends. She does think she's beautiful and deserves all of this, but she's becoming very in a state of imbalance and will go overboard. So it's about to come. I think she's about ready to go tilt.
What's so frustrating is with her archetype, she's the visionary. So she has the potential to be such a mover, because with that, if that anger could be harnessed into moving and doing action and doing good, holy cow, what kind of person could she be? But unfortunately, her shadow self is the visionary will take whoever's the highest bidder and will do their dirty deeds. Come on, guys. She just alone raised $50,000 last weekend. And we keep asking, how does she get this money? She's willing to do what it takes. Do the dirty, do the deed. She uses her visionary status, her visionary archetype to do the dirty bidding, to get the money. It's all about profit. Like Johnny was saying, she likes things, whether it's being or doing or tangible. That's what gets her. I'm sorry, I'm going to hell again. In her strength, and I just keep, solar plexus chakra. So she just looks at her and she thinks she's cute. I should have put her in another category, but I'm gonna keep her in the mean girl. Very huge issues with inner strength. Again, that anger that she has is not harnessed for good. It's harnessed for evil. What you see is somebody who's incredibly insecure and doesn't know how to move forward. And this is also somebody who I would don't trust her as far as you can throw her. Don't even be within the same 10 minutes because or in the same mile vicinity. She knows nothing about friendship. All she knows is using and abusing, taking and getting, using your good and your bad against you to get what she needs. Again, selling you what you have, who you are, to the highest bidder to benefit herself. Work on yourself, girl. Let's look at this astrology.
Basically, in her chart, I'll put money down. She's got a Leo moon. Leo is the sign of kings and queens. If you, on the good side, they can be benevolent rulers, good kings, Wenceslas, and all this kind of stuff. Or they can be tyrants and selfish, really selfish and cruel. And she has that emotional need. That's how she expresses her emotions. And that's what she needs, is to be the queen. She's also got this thing, it's called a T-square. For a lot of people may or may not have heard of that, where you have two things that are opposite each other. It's like they're on a seesaw, and one gets raised higher at the expense of the other side, and then this goes up at this, so this energy going back and forth. First of all, she's got Venus, what and how she loves. So there's a sensitivity there. And it is right in the same place as that Chiron I mentioned earlier. The wound that will not heal is right on top of her sensitivity. So she's that whole, what she loves, how she loves, and it's in Aries, which is a god of war. So that sensitivity is major issues with the sensitivity. Opposite the rebel Uranus. Messing with that energy, bringing it up and down and up and down. And all of that energy is squared by her Mars, her, again, god of war. So all that energy is being funneled through aggression, through that
dominatrix.
We should probably go into that. That would be a lot better than politics.
Yeah.
A lot less.
That's something I can't unsee.
Now, mind you, Lori, when you just pulled your cards up, you did have the devil in your hand.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And guys, I don't think so. I
don't
really
think
don't.
so. I think she just likes to fight.
Yes, she doesn't have the sensitivity. She doesn't have the psychological layers to do something like that. And then when I pulled cards on her for future, her secrets are coming out, and she's got a big old justice card. So,
But
Alicia.
Here's the thing, though. She likes to run her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
quite a bit because she ain't been Ronda Rousey yet.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just
I mean,
pull the fan out on that one, Becca. I'm not staying. Well, speaking of girls who think they cute, let's look at Lindsey Graham.
okay.
Since that girl thinks she's cute, let's take a look at Lady Lindsey.
They used to round the horses back in the day, I'm pretty sure. Down on the farm.
By the way, for those of you who want to know how I have this broken up, I've got categories called Dirty Dems, Dems who fight for our right, Mean Girls Club, which we just finished with Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Got more on that list. We've got Children of the Corn. We also have That Boy or That Girl Thinks She Cute. Republicans we hate to love. And the last category is how they're holding down or maybe holding us up in office.
And I thought it was really interesting to see the differences between Boebert's pain and loneliness and then just Marjorie Taylor Greene's just entitlement, snobbish, and thinking she's all that and 5 bags of chips. Just completely
and
different.
Aggression.
Yeah.
Which is like you were saying earlier, it's not like we excuse Lauren Boebert, but now it's like, okay, I kind of understand versus, okay, she's a wounded child versus Satan's stepchild.
Yeah, she's wounded.
Lucky Lindsey.
He is fueled right now by possessions because his upbringing was restrictive. We also have to keep in mind he was born at a time where delicate dance, who he is now, could not be tolerated back then, first of all. Also, he grew up in a time to where a certain thing was expected of you, period, because you were a male. And so he sort of had to try to fit an archetype that he was not. And so he has always tried to pretend and then try to grab and try to get. His challenge is restriction. His challenge is delays. It's distress. It's confusion. He does not know how to move forward because he does not know how to actually be himself. I think who he actually is has been buried under, not restriction, has been buried under a false image forever. And it's not just his sexuality. It's everything. All his entire being has been somebody else. He probably never wanted to be in Congress. He probably didn't even want to be in the military. All of that type of stuff was expected of him because of who he was. This is Erzuli Dantor. This is someone who was worshipped. This was a human, though. So this was not like this is basically considered the Black Mother Mary. So she was worshipped, even though that's not something she put forth or asked for. So it's kind of like an image thing. You have to be this because we said so. And so I think his liberation comes when he dies. It's not going to come in this lifetime because he doesn't know how to break free and break from those chains.
And he's not young. So this is 60 plus, almost 70 plus, or 80, because he's been in Congress for dang near 8,000 years alone.
I mean,
He's got to be 70. So I don't know what is it.
He's 66.
66.
he is who he is at this point.
He looked 74.
Has not aged well.
That's what Scott. That's Scott to do it to you every time.
Got to get you.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna keep from deep sliding further into the bowels of hell. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Jenn, Lynn, what you got?
Well, I start with he's got a lot of secrets, a lot. It's like he tries to be just and right and fair, but he thinks he stands on a higher moral authority than everybody else. So it's swayed by this. He's in the past, he's had to be strong for his family, and he's worried about disappointment, within the family. Like, gee, even his parents on the other side, what are they thinking? But I get like backstabbing, manipulating, anything with the mouth, just run the mouth. He's like got this dichotomy, like keeping a lid on his emotions and then being erratic and causing disruptions. His bully side comes from his feminine energy, and he's totally blocking his masculine energy. And it's interesting because when I pulled up Oracle, I got sad embrace, and you think about he had to raise his sister, his parents, died, and it's like he's cloaked in sadness and can't seem to break out of that.
Mm-hmm.
You got Becca?
I get that he's a person that's very much very flighty with the storks, very changeable, flighty, non-committal, who is motivated by his own ambitions, but he has trouble getting there. So he'll kiss the ring of whoever he needs to kiss. He'll bend the knee wherever he needs to bend the knee. There's no loyalty there. It's all about his ambitions, but he's not able to attain them. Doesn't matter what he does. He's blocked here. So
I got basically the same thing that Johnny, you, and Jen Lynn got. Lori, round us off.
He definitely will kiss the ring because he does want to be the star. And my main word for him is he's a chameleon. He's a cat. Wherever he lands, he just lands on all four paws, and he just keeps changing and morphing. The only nice thing that I really got for him that I was really shocked to see is that when he loves in a very ferocious way. He is capable of a deep love. I didn't expect to see that.
I had gotten that too because I had pulled a line of 5, but I kept it short to 3. But at the end, I got heart and anchor. He's very loving and very passionate about certain things, very loyal in that sense. But the rest of it is just.
Yep. He's a magician chameleon.
Karma, chameleon.
Well,
Get
it's
yourself
nice that he's loyal. He's a loyal heart. He has a favorite prostitute, probably. So there you go.
He pays that prostitute very well. Probably just sent that prostitute a cash app for Christmas.
I bet he's got a lot of unrequited loves too. Like,
I would think so.
I mean, look at how he adored what's his name before he passed away?
McCain.
McCain.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that. A lot of a lot of crushes.
Just got to find his happiness.
Looked in sadness.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, indecisive. This is the person who, when you are not anchored to anything, you will float wherever. And this is what comes out. This is what you see. This is a person who, unless it is I'm going to not be mean. Something that he. Okay, you know what? Okay, we're gonna go. Okay, so then also his shot. So he is the mediator, which would be brilliant as a congressman, as a judge, if you're using it the light. But the shadow attribute, which is how he shows up, is the person who negotiates and does everything they do with an ulterior motive. It is for them, not for the greater good. I mean, come on. He's going to kiss the ring to whomever gives him the most attention. This is a person too, determination, very, very, very little to no self-control. Because again, that indecisiveness. I'm not tied to anything. I'm not anchored to anything. So therefore I'll float with whatever the wind poops up. And also too, to go with Lori and Becca, I also got heart chakra. I've only been showing one, but I'm pulling 2 every reading. And I just want to show that he does have, there's some heart, a lot of crushing and loving, like Jen says, a lot of love. That there's the capacity to love. It's just how he does it or chooses to show it would be the, I guess, the
Or
problem.
if he
He should
shows it.
start with himself first, and then that would heal some of the other stuff.
Exactly. Let's round us off with the astrology.
Basically, yeah, he's an emotional little thing. Where he's got a lot of water in his chart, which is the emotional. He's got a ton of Cancer nurturing, everything from his sense of self to his Mars, his masculinity, or how he takes action. His moon's probably in Pisces, which is also it's the most sensitive sign. And then his Saturn, which is where you put on the brakes or you need to organize things, is actually over in Scorpio. So that's that intense sign, that intimate sign. So you've got all of this sensitivity there, but there are a couple of difficulties. One of them is that masculinity I told you about is in the exact same place as his Uranus, the rebel, the rebelliousness. And so they act out together. So he has this rebelliousness, freedom loving, but at the same time he can't. It's at a tense angle with Neptune of fantasy and ideals and dreams. It's not, the energy's kind of fighting. And one thing I saw that was interesting, it's kind of also potentially sad, is your North Node is where you're going in life, and your South Node is kind of where you're from, or you need, your whole point is you don't stay at your South Node, you go toward your North Node. His Mercury, how he speaks, how he communicates, is right on his South Node. So he's trying to be progressive, he just keeps getting pulled back to, and the North Node's in Sagittarius, which is open-minded. What's over the next hill? What's over there? I want to learn. I want to see. I want to go. I want to do something different and new. And he's just always, his mouth is always pulling him right back to, no, we're just communicating. We're not doing that. We're just communicating. So there's some weirdness, but there's a lot of sensitivity.
Interesting. Oh,
I don't know if you wanted astrology tonight. I just thought it might be just adding something different.
It's interesting. Yeah, I'm finding it interesting.
Very, very interesting. Let's start digging to the children of the corn. Let's look at Ted Cruz.
Cancun.
Cruz, children of the corn. Let's take a look.
God.
The beachcomber.
Yeah.
The way you said that, Johnny. I felt that in my spirit. I was like, yeah, you ain't said a damn word, but I knew exactly what you meant.
Oh, Lord.
Children of the Kern. Ted Cruz.
I mean, Ted Cruz, who he is, I get Manaz. This is about mankind, governments, anything men build, or it's the man itself. There's a confidence issue. He was and still is not popular. But even more so into that, this is the person that you walk into an empty locker room and you hear noises and you're like, what's happening? Is there a mouse in the wall? And then you're getting closer to the locker and you realize there's someone stuffed in it. And it's Ted Cruz. And it's like he has a hard time moving forward because he has no real plan. There's also, there's a song by Jill Scott called The Fact Is. And it was like, a woman can be, congresswoman. She can be a garbage woman, a police officer, a carpenter. But she says in this song, we need you to help him be a man. So he has no man lessons, no lessons on how to be a man, which is indicative of his children's response to him when he goes to just hug them and they act like, oh my God, you got leprosy. And how Donald Trump talked all the mess in the world about your wife and you let it slide. And then his challenge, gold, attract abundance. He cannot get, and this has nothing to do with money. This is the other side of life that's not financial, the spiritual, the actual love, care, and attention that you would get from the people in your life. Children are temperamental. They're little creatures. Their brains are not fully developed, but nobody's child should want to run and hide from a hug. And so there's something wrong with your manhood, like your essence of being a man. There's something wrong there. You don't have lessons. You didn't have them. You still don't have them. You don't know how to be one. And that's not even me trying to slap him in the face saying you don't know how to be a man. He was not taught. He was not taught properly how to be an adult. And so he's kind of the person you see today. Blame it on your children, the reason why you went to Cancun in the middle of a crisis. Instead of just being a man and say, you know what, we took a vacation at the wrong time, sorry.
It was cold and there's no electricity in my house. So I just wanted to be not cold and I got the means.
I mean,
we respect you.
A maturity.
Yeah. What you got, Jim?
Well, I got the devil on the bottom. So he's all caught up in ego, just completely and chained to the devil. It's like he wants to have a good time, but his challenge is his ambition and his drive to move forward is just heartbreak and burden. Like he can't move forward. He wants to be the warrior king that's strong, but it's all out of balance. So he's always put in this self-defense mode. Like he just doesn't have the energy to move him forward. He's got visions of grandeur, but he's like, nothing wrong with this. Like we need people that enjoy doing the mundane sometimes, that do the same thing every day because it's what makes our world go round. That's who he should be. But he attaches himself to foolish people and tries to bully, and he gets stuck in that, like Johnny said, planning, but never gets the plans off the ground. Like he can't pull the plans together. And it was interesting because I pulled out Dragon's Lair. He knows when he's in danger, but he runs from it because he doesn't have courage. So run to Cancun, run here, run there, run to Trump after he called your wife, horrible things. Run. He's a runner. If he was in Logan's Run, he'd be a runner.
You gonna run away when it gets hard. Go ahead, Becca.
I asked what type of person is he, and I'm getting that he's the type of person that just likes to create problems and talk, and always talk about how to get rid of those problems. But it's mostly him trying to elevate his own power and his own finances. I asked what motivates him, and I get that he thinks he's the smartest person in the room and he can just weasel in and out of everything. Give it to me because I can figure it out, and I'm smart. He thinks he's the smartest person in the room, even though he always ends up trolling himself. But whatever. So
that takes some skill.
Yeah,
really it'd be a lot smarter if you actually watched Big Bird.
Yeah.
Beside, oh Lord Jesus. All right, Lori. Holding it in. What you got, Lori?
What were you going to say?
It's Big Bird. But okay, I'm done.
How do you attack Big Bird?
I'm done. I can't.
Okay, so he totally comes from a place of fear, and he's in massive debt. He has massive financial problems. And he's a little bit on the bipolar side. So, and a lot of people are. Sometimes, I'm not balanced either. But he completely comes from a place of fear. He wants all these things, but it's driven him over into some really deep financial stuff. And it's when he started out, he was actually doing pretty good, but now he's going faceplant. Going down.
No, because wait, it would be this year he runs again, right?
No.
Hold on.
I think he's got 2 more years.
Because that would be 6, because before. Okay, yeah. Because I remember I so voted against him so hard, but it didn't matter. Okay. I was wondering if there's whoever in Texas is looking to try again.
Plenty of time to sink himself.
Yeah. He keeps taking that rope and just hanging himself with it. Child Divine is his shadow self. This is the person who honestly cannot defend himself. He gets easily pulled into shenanigans, easily get pulled into childlike things. He's going to be the kid where the bullies in high school gave him a swirly, and then 2 days later, he's up underneath them trying to be their best friend. This is who he is, Divine Child. He cannot grow out of that. You look like you're going to say something, Becca.
No, I was going to say he is a smart person. Mm-hmm. He's an Ivy League graduate, he's very smart. He's just such an a-hole.
He's a child.
I think that makes total sense what you just said, Adrian. Like you give him a swirly and he's going to be up in your face trying to be your best friend the next day.
Let me do your homework.
Yep. He does not know how to defend himself. It was taught, like Johnny said, he wasn't taught how to be a man, not even a man. He wasn't taught how, yes, I'm agreeing with you, Johnny. I'm going to add a little flavor to it. He wasn't taught how to be a human, how to love, and how to have courage and stand up for yourself. He just doesn't have it. That was not instilled in him. So there it is. Go ahead, Autumn. What you got? Round us off.
Can I just say I'm horrified that I am almost 2 months older than this fool?
Don't look it though. So
thank you. God bless you.
It's what happens when you take care of yourself and you're not an evil person.
I'm trying. What you guys were saying, I can see it in the chart. These awful people, they've got heavy. Serious, like one after the other. They've got this bad Chiron, this wound that will not heal. It's an asteroid, and most people have it in their chart somewhere, and they deal with it. But these people, it is linked into key stuff. And
I'm going to add something. We've done people. 1, 2, 3, 4. I lied. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
I got 5. Okay, I don't know why. I want you guys to know every single person had a solar plexus issue. House of fire, house of determination, house of action, house of righteousness, house of accountability. Okay, keep going.
Well, I mentioned a few minutes ago that T-square, where you get two things that are like seesawing with each other, and then that energy dumps out into something else. Well, his Chiron, his wound that will not heal, is directly across from his Pluto, which is Pluto rules plutonium. It's this deep inner. It's the higher octave of Mars. It's this deep, powerful need for power, how you wield it, all this kind of stuff. With this right across from your wound that will not heal, and it's doing this to each other, and all of that energy, that total power and that total weakness that he's not trying to deal with, is dumping its energy into his sun, his sense of self.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he comes across as, I want power, I'm important, but I'm this sniveling, weak, and that Chiron's in Aries, which is the sense of self. Mm-hmm. It's the first sign. It's how you present yourself to the world. And he's just not dealing with that wound. And so it's just festering in there, and those two types of energy are just they're just he shows up himself, and he's got that.
That's so weird, because I don't even think of him as being like an Aries. He's not that leader.
No, his Chiron. His Chiron's in Aries.
Oh, his Chiron's in Aries.
Chiron's in Aries. No, he's a Capricorn.
Okay.
And so he's
aren't Capricorn
and
status cases too? The
Yes,
ones
they
that
are.
On the negative.
On the negative.
Yeah.
There's money is always a
Oh, yeah.
trigger in for
Oh, yeah.
Capricorn.
And status. Like
Yep.
being
Yeah,
at
money and status. And the other thing that makes you really frustrating, there's a joke. Now, I'm going to say this about a particular sign, but believe me, I'm a Scorpio sun. I've heard every bad joke. I know there are good and bad sides to every sign. But there's a joke about Libra. How many Libras does it take to change a light bulb?
8.
3. No, 2.
Decide which
No,
one
5.
Yeah.
No, 4.
Yeah.
No. They see both sides of every issue so much that sometimes it's like, make a decision. And there were a couple I knew when I was in college. I'm not kidding you. She was a Libra. He was an Aries. She would come to him every day, 5 o'clock, and say, "I'm hungry. What do I want for dinner?" And he was just, Aries loves making decisions. He'd be like, "Well, do you want chicken? No. Do you want pizza? Yeah, I guess I'll pizza." And I was just like, oh my gosh. But they loved it. They're opposite signs. They loved it. And his moon, Ted Cruz's moon, his whole emotional being is in Libra. Where it's like, make a decision, pick a side, grow a spine. Yeah, there are wonderful sides to Libra, but when Libra goes bad, it's Ted Cruz.
Don't disrespect us like that. Brett cannot take offense to that. No, I'm just kidding.
When it goes
You
bad.
have a wonderful Libra sitting right next to you, Autumn.
Yeah.
I'm
And above.
every sign has a good side and a
Yeah.
bad side. Every single sign.
I'm not one of those he and haw, and I'm like, shit or get off the pot. Period. Like I'm
That's because you have Pluto right on your ascendant.
Mhm.
But
So
also
that's your intensity, and that's why you won't, Becca. It won't allow you to be this wussy. No, and you're going to just display that always. It rules Scorpio. It's that intensity right up front, make decisions and power. So it doesn't matter what else is in your chart. You're always going to display that. I'm sorry, Adrian, it's your show.
But also too, Beck, it depends on what it is, because when we don't care, we truly don't care. It has to be something in our threshold of like, I have even 2 ounces of care about it, and then I care. Love it.
Not even 1.5 ounces of care.
Let's pull one more from the Children of the Corn. I know he's not quite technically a politician, but he kind of got pulled into politics. I want to look at the paste eater.
Oh,
Eric. I want to look at Eric, and then I want to look at Eric and Don Jr. See if we can kind of figure another 2 different people. But what's Pace Eater and Don Jr.? Thank you so much to Square Peg for the super chat. Thank you, Marie Henson, for the super chat, and also thank you, Nancy, for the super chat. May that generosity be returned to you guys tenfold.
Can I just say 2 things? 1, ew. 2, Lynn had the best Halloween costume. Best.
I was like, you want me to go get my jar of paste?
Thank you, chat.
It's funny. I'm sitting here, like, I always focus on names when I'm shuffling, and I just keep focusing on I eat paste, because it's like ingrained in me how I think of him. Can't even think of his real name.
If you want to do both or one or the other, Paste Eater and Don Jr.
I have done both. And the first rune I pulled for Eric, or the one I pulled for the paste, is Othala. This is family. There is a bit of catch up that he's trying to play because he's not a junior. He's not the namesake. So there is a bit of I need to prove in him that is instilled in him. Mind you, at the same time, this is not for father's love because Trump did not offer that to him, not even questioning his parenting skills. It's just not what's here. This was more of approval is what they wanted. They didn't want the love. Well, all children want it, but they were chasing his approval because they saw him as successful. Because that's what the namesake Junior was after, success with Sawillo. They wanted success. They wanted, the namesake wanted the success. The other one wanted to be appreciated, as he wasn't just the spare son. He wanted to be appreciated. Both of them have the same challenge in 2 different decks. Come to the Edge is about faith, and then I drew the one that says faith. So they both have they don't believe in themselves type thing, which is why they present as overconfident little Beavis and Buttheads. They come off like uncaring, and they come off as pricks, but it's because they don't believe in themselves at all. And it stemmed from their father, just kind of like Ted Cruz. He did not teach them how to be a man. He taught them nothing and then showed them the example of just be a businessman, be successful. The loving part is just be successful. That's what you need to be. You need to be appreciated. You need to be awed. You need to be feared even by some people. Just be a successful businessman. That's what I get.
Yeah. He's the goblin. It's like he came in with a shadow on him. He came in with the tricksters in his ear always saying the stuff, and he falls for it over and over and over again. It's interesting because I have Temperance. Like he's meant to cooperate with everybody else. He'll never be a leader. It's like he came in blocked karmically. He came in completely blocked. He's just going to be a supporter, wishy-washy. Everybody else come up with the plans. I'll cling to you. He's chained to the devil in his family, and he does have a thing about his mother. He's got a strong attachment to his mother.
What you got, Becca?
For I Eat Paste, I get he's a self-serving grifter. For Junior, I get Junior is very naive about his family, but I also get that he's crapping his pants waiting for news from the government or a court in regards quite possibly to family or whatever, property. He may be under the impression that they'll come out innocent, but I get that there's a lot of naivete on his part, but crap in his pants. That's what I get.
Hope he's got a good sturdy he should ask his father to borrow some diapers. Yeah. What you got, Lori?
For I Eat Paste, he didn't move fast enough at the dinner table. So like say, for instance, at Thanksgiving, everybody got a piece of turkey but him. He's had to fight for everything. He doesn't get anything. He never gets enough of anything. He hopes that he can come out okay. He has been forced to grift and steal, and he actually has some concerns about this. He can't sleep. The reason he can't sleep is completely different from Don Jr. Don Jr. is doing something, and he can't sleep. But he does have he has anxiety. So, but I got the Temperance card for him too. He needs balance, and he needs to learn something. And Don Jr. just comes up as unbalanced, greedy, doing things, partying, and can't go to sleep.
For the donut shop.
I was like, the donut shop does stay open.
Donuts will do it to you.
That powdered sugar makes you hyper. Don Jr., his archetype, his shadow attribute is the bully, physically abusive. Actually, not just verbally, but physically abusive when he's put in a corner. Wonder where he learned that from. Also, somebody with not a lot of compassion, ability to love. When you're not shown love, you don't know how to love. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Sorry, I feel bad for him, kind of. Paste eater, inability to grow, stunted growth.
Ate too much paste.
Yeah, you can't make this up. Engineer is really interesting for his shadow attribute. He cannot, if you gave him glue and sticks and bricks, he could not put something together. He lacks vision. He relies completely on others to help him move forward. I'm done. Go ahead, Autumn. Johnny's gonna make me walk through this, and I'm trying to be serious. So go ahead.
All I'm like is, okay, he got the bricks and you dip the glue and you're supposed to lay the glue on the bricks, and he's like,
Right.
like, no, glue on bricks, not glue in mouth.
Yeah.
We've explained this already.
He's supposed to be, the supporter, the helper. He can't lead. He can't come up with ideas to lead.
But he eats paste because he wanted attention. It's
And he didn't get any turkey,
No,
so he
he
just went for
he was the spare child, unfortunately.
He had a lot of paste instead of turkey.
Because he wasn't a girl. If he was been a girl, then he'd have been fantastic. Well, if he'd have been a girl before Ivanka.
Because I was gonna say, then him and Ivanka would be fighting all the time.
Because Tiffany's a girl, and Tiffany who? So yeah. Unfortunately.
All right, round us off on this one, Autumn. If you don't mind.
Well, first, I just want to point out, if you go to this website called astrotheme.com, it's got this database of celebrities, and you can compare different people's charts. And a while back, I went and I compared Donald Trump to Ivanka, Donald and Jr., Donald and Eric, and it'll give you a compatibility number of. It's kind of a bell curve. So like most you get 50%,
It's fun.
and then you'll to get real compatibility, the fewer numbers. It's not perfect, but it gives you a general idea. His Trump's compatibility number with both Eric and Don Jr. was around 50%. And as a matter of fact, it was like 50% compatibility with Eric and Father Sniffy, and it was like 45 or 48% compatibility between Junior and senior Sniffy and Junior Sniffy. He actually, compatibility wise, it's possible he actually, as a person, might like Eric just a tiny bit more, but Junior, of course, has the name and the responsibility.
Eric looks more like him.
Yeah. Compatibility number with Donald Sr. and Ivanka, 100%. If Donald Trump Sr. was not a creep and the walking human embodiment of all 7 deadly sins, he would be the most supportive, loving, proud, one of those fathers. It's like, look at my daughter. She does so well. Oh, everything she does she's great. He would always be there for her, but he's a creep. So, that's kind of what that is. I also didn't realize, Junior and Eric, there's a 7-year gap between them. Mm-hmm. Junior was born in 1977. Eric was born in 1984.
I'm older than him.
There's a big gap, but their birthdays during the year are about a week apart. So I think Junior's on December 31st, and Eric's on January 6th, or it's the other way around. It's one or the other. But there's all this Capricorn energy, which rules skyscrapers, which rules status, which rules. So both of them have got that energy where their sense of self, they fit right into that. And in families, you'll see stuff like that, where the pieces just fit together just so.
So Junior was born in Trump's Studio 54 days. That explains a lot.
Could be. The thing is, though, with Junior, that North Node we talked about, your work order when you come to this world, what you're supposed to be doing. On that North Node, he has his Pluto. So that he's supposed to embody that inner power. But here's the thing, that North Node is also what sign it's in, is kind of what you're here to do. It's what you're supposed to be doing. And he's supposed to be doing things that have to do with Libra, balance, seeing both sides. In other words, he's failing because he's not seeing both sides. He's taking one side and just running with that. And that is exactly what Libra's not here to do. So, yeah. And that plus the fact that what he's supposed to do and his sense of power is at odds with both his ascendant, how he presents himself, and to some extent his own sense of self. He's very conflicted, and but the interesting thing about Eric is he's actually, he could potentially do something, be a little bit better. But it's the family he's into has hemmed him in. So whatever traits he had, whatever gifts he had, they just got buried. They just got kind of pushed off to the side. And the one thing I'll point out about his chart is that his Chiron, his wound that will not heal, is square. So it's in a 90-degree grinding energy with his moon, his emotional needs. And that all of his life, he's going to have that unless he was to do some serious work on that. And that's
not going to happen in that family.
Nope.
Yeah.
But I believe that totally, that because when I see him, even with all of the Trump hysteria that goes around him, I don't think to his core he is a bad person, like at all. I think he's in a bad situation. And he adapted to it or formed into it. And so he is now behaving like a bad person. But I think to his core, he is not a bad person.
That's why you're confused.
If you take him out of that family, so he has nothing to do with that family anymore, he'd be, Eric down the street. I'm not saying he'd be a lovely human being I'd want to know. But even his Mars, his masculinity, how he takes action, it's in Libra. It's in the balance, seeing both sides. You cannot do that in Trump world. You can't. So Trump is going to see that as a weakness.
I'm laughing at Lucky Girl. She said their birthdays are like a week apart, and yet Trump can't remember either one of them.
Can't remember them. Probably still doesn't remember their names. I want to see if we can get into more, if you guys are okay with that, or we can just do okay.
Sure.
So
I'm here as long as you want.
We can't bash all Republicans. We gotta sometimes look at our own malfeasance within our own party. So let's take a look at a dirty Dem. Let's look at Kyrsten Sinema.
Do we have to?
I don't wanna. Let's take a look.
I'm the reluctant child now.
We can sit here and kiki and laugh at our Republicans all day, but let's we gotta look at the ones we love to hate as well.
Trust and power. This is her motivation. She, however, how do I say this without being like the wet blanket? Like, I don't want to be discouraging to people in the world, but sometimes there are some things you cannot do. I know that's, I can do all things who Christ who strengthens me. The whole, okay, good. But sometimes no, because sometimes your physiology says no, right? So the green flash. I remember when I was at the beach in Florida one day trying to film the sunset. Y'all, that Lori was there because she the one told me about the green flash, and I'm like, I've never seen it, never heard of it. This is called the impossible is possible. She is chasing the wrong thing. Her in particular goals, or this thing that she wants to be her power, this thing that she wants to be her center, this thing that she wants to be her reputation, that she wants to. This is somebody else's dream. What she is kind of like, okay, you want to be a fantastic athlete, general athlete. So you go and play basketball when your talent is actually baseball. And so she may be a person who wants to be a leader, but she is in the wrong place to try to do that. Maybe she needs to start her own little business. Maybe she needs to have a dog grooming facility, whatever the case may be. You can still be a leader, but you don't need to be in Congress. This is somebody else's dream. So she is chasing the wrong thing. And I think the problem is the people around her may look, it's kind of like she doesn't want to turn into her mother. She doesn't want to turn into her whoever. So she's trying too hard to be something she's not. And so she needs to refocus and maybe reevaluate her choices. But, find the impossible. Prove me wrong. But I think that she is misguided. I think.
That's so funny because I drew Spirit of Place on her. She can't embody what she envisions herself to be. She just can't. There's a block there. She's on the move all the time, constantly going through transitions, trying new things, wants a lot of attention, a lot. But there's a breakdown in her relationships. There's murkiness and things hidden under the surface. If you try to work with her, she's never happy. Never. There is some sort of heartbreak that drives her, but she's always looking for money and love. She's always like out for that new opportunity. She's an opportunist.
Yeah. It's almost exactly what I got.
Me too.
What you got, Becca?
I got the crossroads, the moon, and the heat. I asked what motivates her. It looks like she's emotionally like seesaw. Emotional, like she could go either way emotionally, whatever decisions she makes, or from an emotional, she looks to her emotions for answers. Mm-hmm. Also possibly bisexual, because this is here, crossroads. I don't know if that's true. But it's fame and her feelings. Really,
it is true for what it's worth. She's admitted to that. She is.
Oh, okay, because that's this crossroads. So it's like I don't know, just wishy-washy. Like this girl can't decide if she's going to shit or get off the pot. But whatever choices she makes are motivated by this. Her fame and how she feels about whatever it is that she's deciding on. So,
she has. I was going to go ahead and go, Lori, to give you a chance to get back.
Oh,
if you want to go ahead.
Drove right up in my lawn, and it was just freaked me out. So, but they pulled up to jump somebody. So, but they're in my yard.
Do we need to go tend and call the cops and go out there?
No, they're fine. It's two women, so they're fine.
That's even worse sometimes, though, because women fight to the.
So I just get that she's completely lost her way. Just lost it, eclipsed, lost, gone. She was lonely. She has a lot of heart issues going on. And I got what Johnny got too, and Jenn got 2 aces as well. She's moving on to something else. Her approach is all off. She's off kilter. Dog grooming would be great.
See, I think she
Or
needs
fashion
something.
design, as Lucky Girl said. She could go
Yeah.
into fashion.
Just
She
not
does
this.
that pretty good, but she's completely lost her
It's
way.
not the one that wore the vest, the denim vest. Yeah, with the appliques like from the 80s.
Okay, no, seriously, really, you get to sit in that chair and you're dressed like Bubba Boudreaux from no. Mm-mm.
That girl thought she was cute. Another person I miscategorized, but keep going, Lori. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was it. She's going to be headed into something else. This isn't for her. She's lost her way. She's just completely disconnected.
She's not a good listener either to spirit, divine truth. She just can't do it. And because she doesn't listen, she doesn't know how to act. She does not act. She does not have that divine wisdom to act because she doesn't listen to spirit. Her archetype with the shadow self is the lover. Ooh, this is not the person because her love is destructive. She becomes obsessive and destructive. That's not the person you want to have on your side. That's not the person you want to be in love with. She's going to be that single white female that chases you and becomes obsessed with you and then like skins you and puts you in something to like. That's her. And that's actually her approach to politics, why she is flailing pretty badly. Jen Lynn says she's constantly on the move, can't decide, keeps moving, juggling things. But when she's pushed in a corner, she sits on stuff, stillness. Do we not see that with her approach as a politician? How many things has she killed because she sat on it? I can't decide. That's what she does when she's pushed in a corner. It's exactly how she sounds too.
She moves that bar. She keeps moving the bar and then she sits on it.
Yeah, she acts like a little kid.
Yeah.
Like a little kid.
Autumn, you over there configuring and tabulating some astrology. What you got? And you're muted, by the way, so whenever you're ready. Thank you guys, all 372 of you, for joining us tonight.
Yes.
I appreciate you guys.
All right, I won't go through the whole thing, but I'll just give you the highlights because holy heck. How I mentioned the T-square, the thing's doing this, and then it dumps out through the one thing that's squaring them. Well, there's something else. Instead of a T-square, it's called a grand cross. So you have all of those things either going up and down or grinding against each other. And there's no one place it dumps the energy out. It's just seesawing and grinding all over the place. It's a hard thing. Having a T-square or having a grand cross in your chart is tough. You have to learn to deal with that energy because it's a lot. And it's frustrating. She's got that. So the upshot I'll go through is, we'll get to that in just a second. You were saying she's wishy-washy. She can't make a decision. Her ascent, we have a birth time on her, so we know where her moon is. We know where her ascendant is, how she presents herself. She's got Pluto on her ascendant. All that intensity, like Becca, but hers is in Libra, and we know she's not using it right. So she's all my power, how I present myself. And I see both sides. I don't really want to make a decision between the time because I might have to do this or that. And I don't know. I'm not going to be a Democrat. I'm going to be a Green Party. I'm going to be a Democrat. I'm going to be something else. I'm going to take money from It's right in her chart. She has her Mars, how she takes action is in Virgo, which is inflexible. The bad side of Virgo, the good side of Virgo, great. They're meticulous. Like, think of Japanese art. Just this meticulous, beautiful craft. They're the craftspeople. That's the good side. The bad side is they are, well, of course you're not going to damage that. That is a government document. Of course you wouldn't hurt that because it's just this inflexible, nitpicky, and that's where she takes action. she could be this great craftsperson, but she chooses to be the and then in this great grand cross, she's got an Aquarius moon, which the bad side of an Aquarius moon is it can be awfully robotic and cold. And it's right across from her Saturn in Leo, which is this wet blanket controlling queen energy. And it's and there's even more. There's weirdness in Scorpio about her intimate life, and then that's even in there with,
Well,
in one place she has her Chiron, or her wound that will not heal, her Lilith, which is another asteroid, which was the first wife of Adam, who was thrown out of the Garden of Eden because she would not submit. So she's this really, but also angry figure, but very powerful, with her wound that will not heal and her part of fortune, which is like this lucky spot in your chart. And then that's opposite and square all this other stuff. And it's like, what?
Ooh, you're going to have to do a whole video on her. What sign is she, Autumn?
She is a Cancer.
She's a Cancer. Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't act like one. Terribly afflicted.
It's well, her Cancer stuff is grinding up against how she presents herself. It's square her ascendant, not Pluto ascendant. So it's not compatible with how she's having trouble getting that energy out. It's a lot there. I'm sorry.
Interesting chart. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
As Marie Henson said. So basically, she's a mess. Yeah.
Hot.
She's a hot mess.
She's a hot and cold mess.
Yeah. Let's do one more. I want to end on a positive note, since we've been in the thickness all night. I want to end with somebody from Dems who fight for our right. Stacey Abrams is going to try again to become governor of Georgia. She's done a lot basically people are crediting her for turning Georgia blue with all of the action she took to get people out to vote, getting people registered to vote. So let's just see who she is, what drives her. We ended with a hot mess. Hopefully we'll end with something more. She was preceded by a hot mess. Hopefully we'll end with a little bit more positive.
So I got Ngame and Medusa. Ngame is the woman who gives birth to the sun every day. So this is the new possibilities. This is the starting over each day with an open mind. Like, today is going to bring me what? Not huge expectations of such a thing. Medusa, however, is justified rage in this deck. And so it is something that is trying to be used against her, which in some people's cases, not just Democrat, but some people's cases, period. Watch what their opposition is trying to use against them. That's one of their greatest strengths, because that's the thing that they're trying to tear down at. And so her advocacy for because, mind you, this is the year 2021. We should no longer be having conversations about voting, but here we are. So, like I said, she has a lot of possibilities. She has a lot of strong optimism as well. The challenge is coming from, because that's what motivates her. She does have a bright look on the future. She is not pessimistic whatsoever. However, your challenge is all that glitters in observer. Sometimes you can be a little too pie in the sky. Sometimes it is a little too... I shall rebuke these cards, actually, because I will tell you what it says, but I'm gonna give you my little small piece of dissertation too. She can romanticize things a little too easily. Mm-hmm. At the same time, people need hope. They need something, especially right now, and so I'm not. I rebuke this message. However, she does tend to romanticize, and that is her challenge. As though she needs to be grounded at sometimes. On all things are not pretty, and so sometimes she does need to be grounded. But I rebuke that message. So.
But the boogeyman does exist sometimes. While you
Yes,
don't
it
have to go proactively being afraid of him,
Mhm.
you just got to remember that he is out there sometimes.
I get solitude with her. Solitude is not isolation. Solitude is reflection. She takes things in and mulls them over, and she's a deep thinker. It's like the have and the have-nots. And how do we transition, from that? How do we bring balance? She mulls that over all the time, constantly. She gets her strength from her family. She will fight for her dreams. She can stand independent, but she'll also work together with others. So she's like got that balance. She's got a dichotomy, but she's got a balance with her. And she likes to bring a lot of ideas to the table, give birth to a lot of change. So, but she ultimately looks at the impoverished, and how can we beautify their lives a little bit more. She's got a kind soul.
Mm-hmm.
What motivates Stacey Abrams? The government has established your right to choose and vote. So there you go. She will not budge on that. You're not moving her because the government has already established it. That is the law. It is in law. It's like, it's in stone. You're not moving her on voting or on choosing. So that's what I get from her.
I hate that you sound so Steffi, Becca. Bless your heart.
I'll be making soup tonight.
I'm so sorry. And thank you for coming on, even though you're under the weather. Go ahead, Lori. Sorry.
Oh, I'm getting that she has a competitive nature, but she has a inner conflict going on with her right brain, left brain, intuitive, rational. She's very intuitive, and the rational side, the left brain, is trying to overrule that intuition. So she comes out on top. But this is something that she struggles with. She is competitive. She's going to fight. She doesn't like what's happening to America's families. She's going to fight for them. She is a star. She's very smart. But then again, she hits these little spots where she gets stuck. She just gets stuck with some of her thought patterns, and she has to fight to overcome that. But she will. She can. She's a winner. So she has to watch her mouth. She can say some. She can let one fly. Woo! She can really fire a dart right out of her mouth if she wants to. So she's got to be careful with that.
You were very accurate. I know two people who've worked with her for a very long time. One of these people is in the chat, so I'm going to protect this person's privacy. And what you said is exactly how, like, her mouth can write her a check that sometimes she cannot cash. She will, don't
She needs
let
to trust her
fancy,
intuition more too.
yeah, don't let that fancy education fool you. She will get better snipe on you real quick. What do you have to get at that point? I love that gutter snipe always. With her, she's a lawyer, so she's always going to be looking for balance. The problem is that she may not always be the person. She may not always be balanced herself. She may lean more towards one side than the other. Her fuel, like Becca says, is not having the ability to fight, the ability to vote, the ability that are in things that are in the Constitution, and she's very unbudged. She will not budge from that, which makes her lean more heavy to one side than the other, right? But she's always looking to bring justice and balance to others. So that is both her strength and her kryptonite at the same time. Very grounded, and also somebody, like Jenn was saying, somebody who is supported by family and loved ones. And she's also just super, super grounded, tries to be. That's something she aims to be because she knows she got that mouth. So I need to bring myself back down after I cuss somebody out. I need to just come back. Her archetype is the engineer. So if not funneled correctly, she will end up like the paste eater. You can give her bricks and sticks and glue and everything, and she won't be able to balance it or build whatever. However, when harnessed correctly, which we saw after the last gubernatorial election, give her the bricks, the sticks, the everything, and she will not only build, but she will tell others how to build and will build a fortress that will not be penetratable. So that's her archetype. Let's end with her astrology.
Okay, really interesting. There's an argument out there that people who were born during eclipses have this extra kind of oomph of power, and they tend to kind of reach higher levels in our society. We'll like it or not, because it can be for good or evil. It can be like Prince William, or it can be like Donald Trump. I mean, it varies greatly. She was born during a partial lunar eclipse. I did not know this. So she has all that eclipse energy lifting her up. In your chart, you have your North Node, what you're supposed to be doing. Is your work order. There's also a mathematical point called your point of fortune, which is supposed to be a lucky spot in your chart. Her work order, her North Node, and her point of fortune are really close together. So what she's here to do, she's going to have luck with it. It's going to flow better with her, because the point of fortune is the mathematical thing between your sun and your moon and your ascendant and all of this stuff. And we have her birth time. So she's going to get some luck in what she's here to do. And her planets are kind of spread out. So there's some balance. And it isn't like you touch this thing and it's connected to absolutely everything else and the whole chart rings like a gong. Things are a little more spread out, not exact. So there's some nice other things it can take. When there's something's crashing here, it doesn't wreck the whole thing. So there's a stability there, which is nice. She has got, you guys are saying, how she speaks. She's got that Mars, that how she takes action in Aries. Mars rules Aries. Mars and Aries are both names of the gods of war. She will speak her mind. She will take action, really. She will take action there. And it is exactly opposite her Uranus, which is the maverick, the the freedom loving, and so she'll take action and they'll just, and then the only thing in a really positive, that's the tightest thing in her chart. And then it's in a good aspect to her midheaven, her status in life. So that plus a whole lot of stuff in her midheaven, her what and how she loves, her lucky Jupiter. It's all in Aquarius, which is about equality. So and Uranus down here rules equality as well. So.
And interesting, because in 2022, Jupiter moves into Aquarius, so that'll really highlight her Jupiter that's already there.
Yes, exactly.
She's going to have a big year.
And not to mention her opponent is already looking like a horse's behind.
Which one? Purdue or Kim?
Which one?
Purdue.
Purdue is really, really showing his behind.
Yeah.
Very vicious. So I
will say this too: for all the negative in the world, there is some positive response. And Donald Trump and Purdue and Abbott and DeSantis, those people can be motivators.
Absolutely.
Some people maybe were not that interested in politics after Barack Obama. We made history. Okay, let me frolic in the cornfield again. And then Trump came along. It's like, okay, back on the job. We got to get this. We got to get this out of here. And so people became motivated again. Some people voted for the first time or volunteered with, polling places and all of that. So let them be a motivator to you.
Exactly.
Exactly, Johnny. Well
He's
said.
getting a lot of motivation right now. I mean, basically called her everything
Except Stacey.
Not even dog whistles. So,
Mhm.
all righty. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you to all 300 plus of you who were in the chat. Again, Johnny, tomorrow you have your last the Ego live streams tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's Friday. You've got your last of your readings in your series, and I thought tomorrow was Ego.
Calendar. Nope, it's next week. Fame and Ego.
I'm just kidding. So it's next week.
Yeah.
My bad. So don't show up tomorrow. Show up next week for Fame and Ego on Sunday. Please go over. These three amazing people will be on Jenn Lynn's channel. They will be joined by Lena Rodriguez. Jenn is also going to be Monday with Jody for Sacred Sounds and Coffee. And then also
week from Monday on the 20th, right before Christmas.
Week from Monday. I swear I'm gonna get these dates in time. I'm messing up. I'm trying to plug both of y'all and messing y'all stuff up so bad. I do know New Year's Eve though, live stream. Autumn, go check out her book, please. Lucky Girl put the link in the chat. Please go check it out. And she's live every day at 12 Central, 1 Eastern. Becca is gonna go live and make herself some soup and tea in a few minutes and do her dinner and book club. I'm already claiming it. So go check her out. Lori tomorrow is going to be live with Danny, correct?
Danny and Sheila.
And Sheila on Sheila's channel. And then you're also going to be doing your live at 4 p.m. tomorrow.
Yes. Thank you. Eastern.
At least got that right.
Thanks.
All right. So check them out. You guys, again, thank you in the chat. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you, 5 beautiful people, for joining me tonight and getting into the weeds.
Thank you, super chatters, if we missed anybody.
Yes.
Thank
you, Adrian. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you, Adrian, for hosting.
No, thank you guys. So I will see all of you guys in the next live stream. Thank you so much for joining. Have a beautiful night. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.